Hi. Today I want to talk about the importance of being a role model for your kids. I know that you probably have heard things on this topic and maybe even read something. Maybe you discussed a lot of things with your friends, but a lot of people, even though they talk about it and they read about it, but a lot of people they don't really pay attention to it. What do I mean when I'm telling you that a lot of people they don't pay attention to it? Um, Only few people, even though there are a lot of studies, but only few people really truly understand that there is a every child has a stages. As we are adults, we also have our own stages. But we, because we enter this adulthood, we kind of ignore them. For us, they are like there, and that's it. So we're kind of like moving through them. But with kids, it's actually very important to keep in mind that kids are constantly going through stages, and even if you don't see something, it doesn't mean that your child not entering or exiting one of the stages. And the problem there is that you not always can tell when the child is either entering or um, like exiting the particular stage. The you can only see the result. In many cases a parent can see the result, and if a parent already sees the result, then it's late. So if you are not doing, say, socially something, like for a child, and your child is socially uh, struggling, or say you're not introducing to proper food or to variety of food, your child is going to stick with, I don't know, mac and cheese or something like this. Or I actually had this situation when my child, for a long period of time, stuck with a certain food that only I was able to provide him with, because I was cooking it and I couldn't buy it, I couldn't do anything with it. He did like it. Yes, I mean, what's not to like? But I was concerned at some points. But at the same time, because I always relied on those stages, and I knew that, like I need to introduce him to certain, like food and stuff like this, I didn't miss it. And, like, in fact, my child has a great palate, like, and I have no concerns. But this example shows you that it's easy to miss, because we tend to rely on something like, well, I when I see it. No, it's late when you see it. So what are we talking here when we're talking about being a role model for your child? Means that the moment you have children, the moment you deliver a child, your whole life has to change. And I'm not saying that, like it's going to you are not going to have privacy anymore unless you make your own privacy. You're not going to have play dates, dates with your husband, unless you are making those dates. Okay, so having a child and being a parent overrules all your lifestyle. Everything that you ever had in your life is just going to change. But you need to understand that the only person that child is learning from is you. The child is learning from the way how you behave, like with yourself, with the child, within the family, with your parents. Child reads you constantly, no matter what you do, no matter if you think that a child sees you or not seeing you, and like comprehends or not, or doesn't. A child does comprehend everything around. So when a child is having a problem, any sort of problem, starting with health and, like not behaving well, or some certain, I don't know, like doesn't like certain amount, like certain people, or, like disrespect something, it's a question to you. You should ask yourself, if for instance, when children have zero respect to adults, to other adults, right, you need to ask, okay, where child read it, like what is it that was happening in my life that my child read it as if there is disrespect. So you need to look right away. First, you need to look into your relationship with your spouse. Do you respect your spouse? Does it mean that you let your spouse talk? You accept his or her opinion? Do you act on it? Okay? And all kind of stuff. If your spouse is talking to you, do you listen, or you over talk over her or him? Okay? How do you speak about your spouse with a child or in front of your child? Okay, don't think that, oh, well, he or she is little. No, they never little. They always look, they always read, they always implement everything that you have and you are. So if your child is awful for whatever reason, you need to sit down and ask yourself, what is it that I did, or I showed, or I conveyed to my child? There is always time to change certain things, always. You just need to really honestly look at yourself, figure out where you screw up, because you're a role model for child. Always, in every single thing in their life, they look at you, how you behave. Okay? Even when you curse and you think that your child is not listening on or hearing or don't understand, that they do. Trust me, they do. They read every single communication. That's why it's very important. If you want your child to feel safe and be successful and be, and have respect for wherever the child have, especially if you're wealthy, because it's very easy for your child to take things for granted. You need to make sure that you are doing top you can, that you are projecting the picture that you want your child to be. Okay, it doesn't matter if you have sources, if you don't have sources. A lot of people saying, well, I didn't have like big house. It doesn't matter. Or look around. If you have big house, if you have two big houses, if you have three big houses, it's key important for you not to be braggy, not to be dismissive. It's important for you to be wise, calm, respectful to everything, cherish everything you have. The more you have, the more responsibility you have. The less you have, it doesn't mean that the less responsibility you have, but it means that if you have less and you want your child to have more, then you need to provide a child with an example of yourself being crisp in every single area of life, because this is what your child will read and will take with him or her in their life, and they will build on what they read and see from you. And after that, tell me, is it important for you to be a role model for your child? Yes, it is. Because based on who you are, your child will either succeed or lose. Your choice. As always, it's only your choice. It's hard for at the beginning, But trust me, it's worth it. It's worth it.